Hi, my name is Maddie. Welcome to my channel. There's absolutely no script to this video. I kind of literally just set up my phone because I had an idea. Hi, I know. I'm busy. It is currently January 5th, 2026. I have felt really inspired this year to make a lot of, as is how it goes usually with the end of a year and the beginning of a new one. I've been really inspired to kind of change up some habits and change up lifestyles, doing the resolutions, everything, all the New Year's things. But I wanted to talk about something very specific. This year is very different for me. It feels completely different because I feel like I'm prepared this year, and I will explain in a few minutes what I mean by that. To sum up my situation, I have wanted to successfully make and follow New Year's resolutions every year, like 99% of people on earth do and have. Every single year those have ended in failure for me, usually by week 2 or 3. It's a story we're all very familiar with. You set the goal, you promise yourself that you'll stick to it, and nothing happens. You don't follow through. Eventually you do kind of feel like you've disappointed or even failed yourself a little bit. I've dealt with that, plus much more in my life. A little bit of context for me and how I am. I have never been a very disciplined person. Setting goals and sticking to them, like following them, has always been very difficult for me. And I have come to the realization lately that the simple reason for that is because I am addicted to comfort. Anytime I am bored, I will take out my phone and I will just start scrolling. I am addicted to fast dopamine. My dopamine receptors are absolutely fried. I can't sit with myself. I can't sit in silence. I always need so much stimulation. Usually mentally, I will typically put on a high energy YouTube video or a podcast, and I cannot monotask to save my life. I have been multitasking all the time in everything that I do. About the beginning of last year, I think I realized it really being a problem. I would be unable to sit with myself. I would notice that the books I wanted to read were not being read at all. I don't know if I read any full books last year, which is so saddening to me. But it's because I couldn't monotask. I could not sit down and tell myself, okay, I'm going to read a few pages of this book. I could not fulfill that task. I could not sit down and just see it done for myself. A lot of the things that I wanted to do last year, I never did. I've been wanting to lose weight and get toned and like build muscle for years now. It's been like 4 years that I have had that as a goal. Like all of us do around New Year's, yeah, right, whatever. But it's been years. And I tell myself every year, I'm going to do this year. This is my year, 2020, 2021, 2022. They were all my years, but they never were. I do feel like I failed myself and did not show up for myself at all. And that just brings me back to my self-diagnosed addiction to comfort, my inability to sit still, to monotask, to sacrifice comfort now for a reward later on, my inability to do anything but seek pleasure and avoid pain. That's kind of been what has defined my life in the last few years. And I will give myself a little bit of credit because the last couple years emotionally and mentally for me and for my family have been really hard. There are things that my husband and I have gone through last year and the year before that have been very difficult for us. And so it makes sense that I would want to go to food for comfort, or my phone, and I would want to just spend days or weeks on end bed rotting. It makes sense that I would want to do that. And I'm not blaming myself for it. It just doesn't serve me, and it doesn't help me in any sort of situation. And I especially feel like I struggle a lot because I see so many of my friends, my girlfriends, they're just so productive and they're go-getters. Even like the unhealthy productive people go to being productive to cope. And in my head I'm thinking, what I would not give for that to be my coping mechanism. Instead, I sit here and I do nothing. I kind of just waste away. I've never known another person to do that, ever. So I really wanted to make a video just in case anyone else out there feels the same way I do and has my struggles. I'm sure there are some of you out there, and I hope you find this video. I guess the main beef of the video is I'm going to be going over some habits that I'm going to be implementing over this year, some new methods that I'm adopting to kind of reframe my brain to prioritize the end reward of discomfort instead of choosing pleasure and comfort in the moment and sacrificing the end reward. Some new goals that I have, and I guess resolutions for this year. Basically just ways that I want this year to be different from last year. And I'm going to be going over a few other changes that I'm making in my life that I really just want to talk about and discuss. I would love input and feedback from anybody else who is dealing with these things or anything similar. And I would love to know some methods that you have found have been helpful for you as well, to overcome these mental blocks. So yeah, that's it. So first I want to talk about my goals for this year. I am going to be reading in my journal for a lot of this because I did a ton of processing and preparing for the new year in my journal. First off, I just want to say I'm so proud of myself. I have 14 pages of New Year preparation in my journal, and I have wanted to have that week between Christmas and New Year's where everyone kind of fades out of reality and time kind of doesn't exist. A lot of people take that time to reflect and close out the current year and prepare for the new year. I've always wanted to do that, but I have never been able to make myself. I've never been able to, set aside time and actually do it. But this last year I did, and I'm so proud of myself because I feel so refreshed and I feel cleansed and I feel so ready for this year. So first off, I want to just go over the goals that I have written down, and I'm going to expand on everything here, and I'm going to give explanations for everything and go in depth on a couple things as well. But this is just kind of the meat and bones of all of my my goals for this year. And of course I did go kind of crazy. I know I'm not going to do all of these this year, but I can damn sure dream. And I wrote them down because why the hell not, It might happen, it might not, but I am going to try, and that's all that matters. So I have them separated into sections: physical, mental, spiritual, financial, creative, and fun. So starting with physical, lose 30 pounds. I have tried to lose this weight for years, and damn it, this is gonna be the year I do it. Dress how I want instead of what's comfortable, get fit and toned. I trick roller skate, so I have a few really specific, difficult tricks in here that I would love to learn this year. Have a healthy, balanced diet, wake up before 7 a.m., have a morning and evening routine that I stick to, and grow my hair 4 inches longer. And that's just because my hair is really unhealthy. It's been growing very slow lately, so if I could get a good 4 inches of growth, I will be so happy with that. Next, I have mental. Create and follow a personal curriculum. Journal every day, once a day. Read 10 books. I am already on track to blow through that, so I am very happy about that. get certified in multiple audio systems. I am an audiovisual technician, like as one of my day jobs. So that is a big goal that I have for this year, is to get some more certifications. Read before bed instead of scrolling. It's been a habit for the past like long time, probably since I've had my own phone, maybe 7 or 8 years, to just scroll until I fall asleep. And it usually works pretty well, of course, because my eyes get friggin' fried from the blue light and they don't last very long. But I don't like that, and I always wake up with such high cortisol levels because of it, and I'm tired of that. So I would much rather read by candlelight before bed instead of lulling myself to sleep with my phone, and get my screen time under 2 hours. 2 hours seems a little steep because I use my phone for a ton of other things than scrolling. So 2 hours might be a little ambitious, maybe like less than 3 hours or something like that. Just less than what it currently is. It's currently like so stupid. It's like between 7 and 10 hours. Like, it's really bad. But I'm already on track to lowering it a little bit, little by little, so we'll see about that. Next, I have spiritual. Now, I am a Christian. I love Jesus, and I read the Bible every single day. For my spiritual goals, I have study the Bible more, pray intentionally daily, worship God intentionally, and by intentionally, I just mean time set aside to solely devote all of my mental energy on that. Be bolder in my faith, getting involved with youth and young adults at my church, and then processing emotions with my husband first. And that's very important to me because sometimes it is difficult to process emotions with my husband first, but that can sometimes be a dangerous trap to fall into, because if I make a habit of processing emotions with someone else, like a friend, before him, a pretty big gap can grow between me and him, and that's so dangerous, and I want to avoid that. And I definitely want him to be the most in tune person with me and my heart and my soul, you know? Next, we have financial. I am a press-on nail artist, so for my first goal, I have sell $2,000 in nails. I'm already on track to doing that. Very excited. Make 40K this year, and less spending and more saving. And I have a few more specific habits for that one that I will go into detail a little later. Next, I have creative. Grow my nail business, do 5 in-person markets. That's very difficult. I honestly have no idea if I'm going to do that. Draw and paint more, just more creative expression. Make 12 theme park videos, make 10 crochet videos, and get monetized on YouTube. This is neither of those, so I might amend those a little, but we'll see. And then finally, I have fun. Explore more, meaning just explore where I live more. I live on the beach in Florida, and I live in such a cute, cool place, and I have not explored it nearly enough. We've lived here for 2.5 years now, and I still don't know what's here. I want to explore just aimlessly without any end goal in mind or purpose. Solo dates. I never do that. It's been weird to me to think about it, but I want to do it. It sounds cute and fun. Listen to more music. I am a metalhead, and a very picky metalhead at that, and I am tired of not liking anything, so I'm going to force myself to listen to new music this year. Watch more shows and movies, and be outside more. So those are like my broad kind of just general goals for this year. I left it, some of them are specific, some of them are more broad and open-ended, and I did that on purpose to make, not really to like make it easier to do more of them or complete more of them, but I guess to just give myself space, because it's a lot of goals, And I know a year is a long time, but a lot can also happen in a year that you're not prepared for. And having this many goals can be so difficult because life happens. And doing all of these around life can be hard. So a lot of them are more general to just make it easier to insert into my day-to-day life little by little, if that makes sense. I did a big list of ins and outs for 2026. I've never done these before, but I so enjoyed doing them for this year. This is everything I want coming in, everything that I want to make more room for and allow more time for, basically. And this is what is going out. This is what we are not doing, what we are not allowing time and space for next year. I loved doing these. So I'm just gonna give you I'm just going to quickly read my ins and outs so you have a good idea. And most of these are general, they're very broad. Here we go. Ins for 2026. Writing over screen time, trying new things, baking, romanticizing discomfort, reading books, healthy, intentional eating, relationship care, or just giving more attention to my relationships, dressing how I want, exploring, microdosing risk, prayer and intentional time with God, slow-paced content instead of super stimulating content like I'm constantly cramming into my brain, hope, being confrontational, handling tasks as soon as they appear. I'm really bad with procrastination. Actually doing things I say would be cool or fun. I always do that. Someone will recommend something and I'll say, oh, that would be so cool. That would be fun. Let's do it sometime. And then we never do it. I'm so tired of that. Anytime I catch myself saying that now, I want to make a point. I want to schedule it then and there. Because I'm tired of never doing things I genuinely think would be cool to do. Intentionality, loving my husband, being a better friend, and writing out everything. Tons and tons of emotional brain dumps in my journal. I need more of those in my life. Now let's move on to the outs. Again, I'm just going to quickly list these. Procrastinating, distracting myself, conserving energy by doing nothing, binge eating, defensiveness, doom scrolling, not being intentional with the time that God has given me, self-shaming, hopelessness, overwhelm, doing things out of order, impulse spending, being avoidant of conflict, disagreement, and honesty, being unsure of myself and second-guessing myself. It's so satisfying to just see these all written out, man. This is so cool. I also did a morning and evening routine for myself. I left some room in there for each night to be different. Like some mornings, instead of a shower, I will do a dry brush or things like that can be exchanged for something else or replaced. But basically the goal of this is to have a dedicated, intentional wake up process, and then an intentional wind down evening process, essentially to signal to my body, hey, while I'm doing these things, I'm waking up, we're getting ready for the day, or I'm doing these things, it's time to wind down, it's time to start producing melatonin, and it's time to start preparing for bed. I found some amazing New Year reflection questions on Instagram, and I will tag the creator below in the description that I found these from, but they were so helpful to write through and think through. It's just 7 of them, so I'm going to just tell them to you right now, just the questions. Number 1, looking back on this past year, what did it show me about what truly matters to me now? Number 2, what am I ready to leave behind because it no longer aligns with who I am becoming? Number 3, what do I want to create more space for emotionally, mentally, and physically? Number 4, when I imagine my next year feeling aligned, what does an ordinary day look like? Number 5, this year I want to feel more blank than blank. Number 6, what boundaries, habits, or rhythms will help me feel more grounded and supported this year? And number 7, if I trusted myself fully, what would I give myself permission to want or move towards this year? These questions were so good. Thinking about these and taking the time to write out a fully structured answer and response to them was just so helpful. I also did a theme for the year. It's kind of like my word of the year, but I like the term theme because I feel like it helps me kind of direct everything that I do this year towards that theme, you know? A word is kind of confusing to my brain for some reason, so a theme seems a lot easier to stick to, and my theme for 2026 is discipline. And I have a little definition written here to help me further have a clear vision of what that looks like for me practically. Showing up for yourself because you deserve the outcome. And like I said in the beginning of the video, that's always been so hard for me. so hard. So having this little definition right here helps me a lot, because it helps me to focus on showing up for myself instead of, but I want this thing right now. This helps me to set my eyes on the future and the outcome. I also did an exercise that helped me so much, which are letters to myself. I did one to 2025 January me, and then one to 2027 January me. So I did one to me from 1 year ago, and then me from 1 year from now. And when I tell you, these things, oh my god, they made me cry. They were so emotional, but my gosh, they were so helpful. I've never done a letter to myself or anything like this. Oh my gosh, they were just so good. In my letter to myself from a year ago, essentially I told her about the year that she's about to have and the things that I wish that I could do for her that I failed to do. And then to myself 1 year from now, I essentially promised her that I would do certain things that I've been wanting to do so that she can have a more full life than me. Like, I would give up some luxuries now to give her the things that she wants. Oh my gosh, and it helped me so much. I feel like it really aligned my vision for this year, you know? It cleansed out my brain and my mind and my soul, I feel like. And it helped me to really pinpoint what I want for this year. Yeah, so that's about all I did for preparation for this year. Again, it was 14 pages in my journal. I'm so proud of myself. Now I'm kind of diverting from the kind of New Year's mood and talking about something a little less about resolutions or anything like that and more general to just living life. My phone has been such a big problem for me. I know I've already said that. I really can't reiterate it enough. It's been such a huge problem. I have been trying to make steps to mitigate that more. Trying to create habits that help me rely on my phone less or help me create distance, and none of it has worked. I have such an addictive brain. It just hasn't worked. None of it's worked for me. So I have made a decision, a very hard and very scary decision. I am going to be swapping my iPhone 13 for a Samsung Galaxy Folder 2 flip phone. This is so scary to me, and I don't really know why. No, I do know why. I'm aware that I show addictive tendencies towards my phone. I literally have withdrawals from it, like a friggin' drug addict. And that's really what I'm scared of, is coming off of it. You could say. Literally, like it's a drug. I guess it is, in a sense, because it's something that I use to numb and distract. And I'm sick of that. I am really tired of numbing and distracting myself. I'm tired of not living my life as it's happening in front of me, and I'm tired of not interacting with the world to my fullest capacity. I am tired of not processing every single emotion I have incompletely. I'm tired of all of it. I'm tired of, I feel like I'm watching my life live itself and I'm a bystander in my own life. That's what I feel like. And it's very hard. The reward in the moment is good, but I end up laying awake at night thinking, like, I spent all day today on my phone. Like, I didn't do anything. What did I do? I did nothing. I did not live my life at all today. It lived me. Yeah, this is a scary decision. I'm still thinking through it because a Samsung Galaxy Folder 2 is, it's about 8 or 9 years old right now. It's an older phone. It's running on a much older version of Samsung, and a lot of my current conveniences are going to be taken away from me. Now, I do have an iPad Pro that I will have to use for a lot of the things I currently use my phone for, like, you know, checking my bank account, using a browser, things like that that I would usually just use my phone for. It's a lot of things. It adds up, like GPS, music, all of that. I'm going to have to adapt these things. I'm going to have to either move towards more physical media or find some sort of other roundabout way. I'm most likely just going to move towards more physical media. I've considered getting an MP3 player. I probably will end up doing that at some point. Getting a ton of CDs, collecting movies, things like that. These are all things that we need to be doing anyway because no one owns anything these days. We're all essentially renting everything. That's all subscriptions to anything are. It's just you renting it. I plan to get more books. And yeah, just all that good stuff. I have never not had an iPhone. This is very scary for me. You can access social medias on the Folder 2, but it's a flip phone, so it's just harder to navigate, and that's really all I want. Is I just want to make going to my vices way less convenient. That's all I want, because that will turn my brain off from it and help me go seek something else out. And it's a flip phone. It's freaking cute as hell. It's got a cute little camera with crappy 2010s picture quality. Like, that's cute. I want that. It's like so charming. I have the color picked out that I want and everything. Like, I'm so excited for this phone. I'm so excited and I'm so scared because it's more than just a phone switch. It's like a big statement for me, essentially. And it's going to signal a huge lifestyle change. And I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. The withdrawals are going to suck, but they're going to be worth it. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be that much better because of it. I'm excited. That being said, I have currently put a few other things into practice before the big phone switch to wean myself off of technology, essentially. And that is, of course, the journal. I used to journal on my iPad. I have some wonderful journaling apps I could recommend to you if that's something you're looking to get into. Paper is a fantastic one. Zinnia is what I used for like 4 years. It's freaking amazing. And they were incredible. I used it for everything. I used it for like a field notes notebook, which is just like, you know, quick notes I would have to make when I'm out. I used it for a journal. I used it for all of my work notebooks. It was amazing. But be that as it may, it does not serve me anymore. And I went back to a physical journal. I went back to a physical planner. I freaking love this one. I literally got it from Walmart. It was like $6. But this thing is so cute. It has everything, all the tabs, weekly spreads, and full monthly spreads. And in the back, it has these super cute little sections. There's a whole section for notes. There's a whole section for ideas, and it has this little box, and then it has dot grid paper on the bottom. There is a contacts section, and finally there is a goals section. How cute is that? I love it so much. I already used the heck out of it. This is a notebook that I'm going to be using basically for habits and trackers and some more notes, kind of like a bullet journal, but kind of not. I don't want to put that label on it because my brain hates that. But yeah, these are kind of where my life has migrated to off of my iPad, is these 3 lovely notebooks. And I love that because I've basically made little rituals in the morning and evening for planning my day, writing my thoughts out, writing my emotions out, writing all of my prayers down, my conversations with God. I write everything out, and it's so calming because I'm not looking at a screen, I'm not typing it, I'm going slower, which signals to your body that you're safe, and it can slow cortisol production. It just forces me to slow down, and it forces me to really truly think about what I'm writing, and they all help me just be so much more present, and I love them for that. Also, I've never read these books, kind of a tangent, but whatever. I've never read the Harry Potter books. I got the Sorcerer's Stone the other day, and I'm already halfway through it. Look at me, I'm so proud of myself. I love the movies. My husband forced me to watch them recently because I had grown up without watching them. So I saw them for the first time a few years ago, and I immediately fell in love with them. Now I watch through the whole thing like at least twice a year. And I'm just obsessed with this book so far. I cannot wait to get to the Deathly Hallows and then read all of them over again. So I guess that's a good segue into books. Just a quick little thing that I want to touch on. I love nonfiction books, but they do not hold my attention. The main reason I prefer nonfiction books is because I love reading about Christianity, theology, psychology, science, all that stuff. I love reading about all of that stuff and learning about myself and the way that my spirit, soul, and body work, and my brain. I love learning about how all that works. But I will always start a book, get about that far through it, and then put it down and forget about it for a year. And I'm so picky with my taste in fantasy books, I just never really picked it up. So to get into physical books again, I went digital for a little while. It was not doing it for me. I got the first Harry Potter book, of course, and then a Star Wars book that I have wanted to read for years now. These are essentially to whet my appetite and to just get my brain back in the mode of reading regularly. I used to read so much when I was younger, and I loved it, and I fell out of love with it, and so now I have friends recommending books to me. I do like fantasy books. I prefer to stick to those. Yeah, I'm just doing all of these little things to just really help myself. It's hard out here. It's hard. We live in a world that is just turned on 24/7, and it does not wait for anybody. And lately I've just been very sick of knowing every single thing that happens outside my door when I do not need to. I just don't. I've been so dysregulated all the time. My brain is exhausted all the time. I'm overstimulated all the time because my head is filled with reels and politics and news and sadness and fluff, general stuff that does not deserve to be in there. So I am so happy to be taking steps to fill it with other things, much slower things, having healthier forms of input and output, like these. And yeah, I know I kind of just sat here and talked for 40 minutes to nobody, so if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I can relate to some other people out there. Let me know if you do feel like me and you also feel isolated. I promise you, you're not the only one. There are more of us out there. I just know it. I just have to find them. And yeah, I would love to make some more videos on this kind of thing. I love talking about planning, journaling, habits, goal setting, all of that stuff, and making methods to stick to those goals and see them through. So please let me know if you would like to see some more stuff like this, and in the meantime, I am currently working on a really nice crochet tutorial video for you guys, and I'll see you very soon in that one. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you later. Thank you for watching.